Hey there, and welcome to this special Let's Play Imperator Rome Interlude episode. As you can tell, something is a bit off here. We have not gotten our game screen up and instead are on the main Steam page here. I've got my smart person glasses on, and the reason we are here is that we have a small bug that we are going to fix. Those of you who paid attention in the last episode probably already have some suspicions about what that bug is. I'll get to that in a moment, but first, if we are going to fix this, we need to enable debug mode in the game. This is disabled by default in Imperator Rome, so to activate it, you actually have to open up Steam, right-click on the game itself, and open up the Properties menu. Once you open up the Properties menu, you're going to be right on the General tab. On this tab, down in the Launch Options section, you're going to want to enter this code. For those of you who maybe can't read that, that's a -debug_mode. After that, you don't have to do anything else. There's no save or confirm button. Just close it and then go to launch your game. Launching the game, and you can check out my other games here on the side that I've got prioritized at the moment. And if any of them interest you, do let me know, and I'm happy to maybe do a Let's Play of one of those as well. All right, our game is opened up. So, first thing we want to do then, of course, is load our game. As you can see, I've been testing this with all sorts of test, alt, fixed files, because I did not want to corrupt our save and thereby prematurely ruin our Syracuse run. I believe that is the file I want, so we will open up the save. Here we are. Yep, we are at the same situation we left off at. So, in order to do this now, you're going to want to open up the debug console. You can tell that we are in debug mode by seeing that there are like little ID numbers here and such, also when we hover over provinces. In order to open up the debug console, it will differ based on your keyboard somewhat. So I'm not going to really be able to help you here. You may have to Google it yourself. My keyboard is a German keyboard at the moment, for reasons. Much better than the English one in many ways, easier to use than the French one. The Swiss one's wonderful though, if you because it has all sorts of options if you're looking to be really international. So that being said, on my keyboard it is the Alt-GR and the upward-facing right caret key that opens up the debug console. When we are here, there's all sorts of stuff we can do. We can enter help and check out all the different commands that are available to us. Some of these commands will ruin your game or crash the game. Just be warned. Some of them are not yet developed yet, so that can give you possible hints as to the future direction the game might take. But we're not going to browse that too much. We're just going to clear it and look to fixing our bug. So the bug in question is this isolated province. Let me get rid of that menu for a moment so you can see. This isolated province modifier, which gives negative 0.25 loyalty per month to the province. That's applying to 3 of our provinces, the 3 we acquired in the last war, despite the fact that they are connected by land or sea to our capital and are within our control range. From what I could, understand. Control range is a little bit of a modifier that people are still figuring out. It can be increased through certain oratory technologies. Over here, if you are planning on that one for instance, this one as well, there. If you are planning on a sprawling empire that doesn't necessarily have clear connections, that can be a useful thing. Maybe we'll explore it if we decide to play a more unusual tallish/colonizing game. Alright, that little aside now, this modifier is not intended to penalize us when we have provinces in such close proximity and connected to our capital by land or sea. It is intended more for when you have stuff like in the middle of the Hungarian plains up here, or outside your control range on the Black Sea up here. That would make total sense. Those provinces historically are hard to control. And the modifier is severe enough that they will actually rebel at certain points. If you are at peace the whole game and have constant positive stability and no aggressive expansion, you could probably control them just fine. But every time you do anything in the game, you would probably be facing a revolt in these provinces. We do not want to have that problem. We don't deserve that. So let's fix it. There are two ways to fix it. One is the non-consul way. That is, if you just go to war again, say against Rome, conquer another province, the modifier will apparently be removed from the previous provinces and applied only to the new province. That essentially just means you're moving the problem around. As long as you are continuously expanding, that's not much of an issue because you'll never get below that negative 30 point in loyalty where provinces really start to be problematic. We don't know that we want to constantly be expanding, so we may want to be tall, so we don't want to just push the problem around for the rest of the game. We want to get rid of it completely. So we will be using the Debug Council. So opening that up again, what we're going to do is we're going to conquer a province. That province seems to have to be somewhere within your general control range region. That's almost a tongue twister, and not further afield. I experimented with trying to just acquire something over here, or even an uncolonized province here, and it didn't quite work properly. So we can do it right with our next door neighbor. We hover over their province. This one here, for instance, it has an ID of number 49. We want to conquer that. So let's conquer 49. You watch up here, none of our aggressive expansion numbers or stability numbers will change when we do this. We just all of a sudden have a new province. Yay, that was easy. We could play the whole game like this, but we're not going to. Now, you could probably try to figure out ways in the console to get rid of this, but we don't want to do that. If you can fix a problem without using the console, you will prefer to do that. So close your console again so you can observe what's going on. And the key here too is you have to let a month tick by. So we have to go until the 1st of October. We're going to let the clock run a little bit, and we're going to get an event that we have to deal with. This is, again, also kind of I wanted to show you this rather than just do it behind the scenes, because you might have seen some modifiers that you hadn't seen pop up, or you would have noticed that the date had changed and what happened. So I'm just being very transparent here, in addition to also helping you fix this problem should you ever have it. All right, the patronage of the arts. We are expected to be a patron of the arts. Oh, well, we must not neglect the arts. I do believe that, truly, but 122 gold is not something we have in the bank right now. Legitimacy of 0.2 a month, I would guess, yes. Is nice, would help, but our legitimacy is actually okay. If we had gotten this at the beginning of his reign, I would say, sure, why not? But now, no, this is a frivolous expense. It's only -2 legitimacy, that's not bad. We can progress on. All right, 1st of October has reached us. Let's check on our provinces here. As you can see, the modifier has gone away. For all of the regions, yes, as expected. They are still disloyal, but in a much more manageable way that we can fix. Now, we have to get rid of this province. The easiest way to do that, you don't even need the command console. You just go back to influence actions, talk to the country you took the province from, sell them the territory. You can just click on the map on the territory as well and it will pop up. Sell it to them for 0 because we are not altering the situation of the game in any way. We won't earn any money off of it. As you can see, all of this will stay the same, as will our relations. Still actually terribly, terribly bad. And that will stay just as it is when we sell the province back to them. Hit OK. We've sold it back. Nothing has changed in the geopolitical, financial, or military realm. And that province is now safely back in Roman hands, at least for this short episode. Then you are technically complete with your issue. If you want to continue the game and not exit, though I would recommend exiting and then actually removing that debug mode from your Steam overlay, you can also, though, close the console here hit debug mode, I think. Yeah, just like that. Nope. Debug. Oh gosh, see if I can remember what it was. Debug mode. I thought it was debug mode. Maybe if I just go up in here. Yes, debug mode. And that will, it saves your history. In case you were wondering what I was doing, I was hitting the up arrow to go back in my history and see what I had used previously when I was learning this. So that will then close the console permanently for this session. You can see we no longer have little codes up here, nor if we hover over anything, we don't have codes. Also, even if you hit your shortcut key again, you can hear me hitting the key loudly with my, it's not opening. That means it's closed, you cannot reactivate it. And you could then, in principle, perhaps carry on with your game. I am not going to do that. I'm going to save my game now. We'll call this new. There we go, new, really. And this will be the game where we will pick it up when we come back for an actual proper episode. All right, I think that covers it. I'm gonna close the game now. I'm gonna remove that code from my Steam account, and then I'm gonna fire it right back up and record you a proper episode. I hope this helped. If the problem ever occurs for you, you will now have a easy way of fixing it without having to alter the actual game files in your system, and without having to go and conquer a territory forever in order to move that problem constantly to a new region. Thanks again. I will see you shortly for another episode of Let's Play Imperator Rome as Syracuse. Take care until then, and ciao.